Hello there everyone and welcome to week 13. In this video I'll be going through the introduction of the week 13 programming assignment, which consists of these two functions. So first one, write a defining table and a function named countEvens that counts and returns the number of even integers in an array. The function must have this header, function countEvens, and it takes a list as a parameter. Okay, so I'm going to copy my template into new file and save it as 13a. All right, I'm just going to call this add evens. And I'm going to remove a couple of things here. Add evens in an array. I don't need that temporary paragraph. Okay, so let's go ahead and split this here. And let's check this out. So write a defining table. So let's think about this. If we need to count all of the even integers, okay, so it says counts and returns the number. Okay, so we're just going to return a simple number. So the number of even integers in an array. So it's not add evens, it's count evens. All right, so the number of even integers in an array. So our input for now is going to be none. Our processing, we are going to have to loop through the array, if array at index of I is even, add it or increase count, because we're just counting them, right? All right, so let's look at this. Function returns the number of even integers in an array. Okay, so if I declared count, like before a loop, whoops, count equals 0, and then every time we come across an even number in our array, we'll just increase our count, and then we'll return count. Okay. So with our defining table written, I'm going to select that, hit Control D to select both of them, and say count evens. And it will take a list as a parameter. And so I'll just say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, something random numbers. Actually, I'm going to take some of those out. Okay, so in here I have 1, 2, 3 evens. Okay, and then I'm going to run this just to make sure that I don't have any errors. Okay, so I run the function. We have our output text, which is good. That's all I'm doing is just outputting that for my template program. And then in here, we would have to, first of all, these can get commented out or deleted. We don't have any input. But then in here, we would loop through and add our even numbers or increase our count for each even number that we have. Okay, so that's the first one. That's how to get started on that one. The second one, write a defining table and a function to multiply each element in an array by some value. The function must have this header, function multiply, pass in a list, and a multiplier. So if this function were called, multiplying each item in the list by 3, that is what we would output or return. Okay, so I'm going to copy this program and paste it over here and call it 13b. And this one is multiply array. We'll just call that header the same thing. In here, I'm going to hit Control D to select that next one. We're just going to call this function multiply. We can pass in this function, that's great, or this list, I mean, but we will need to pass in two things. So I'm going to highlight this, hit my square bracket opening there to pass in a list, and then let's just say 3. That's a good number for a multiplier. And then in here, we'll have our list and multiplier. Okay, so let's look at our defining table. Currently, we don't have any input, okay? We're just writing a function, and we're going to test it with this hard-coded input just to make sure that our function's working. Okay, our output is going to be an array of multiplied values. Okay, so in here, we're definitely not going to need a counter, but we will have to loop through the array, and then multiply array at index of I by multiplier. And then somehow put that into array. Okay, and then we'll just output that. All right, so let's run this, make sure we know that it's working. Okay, run function output text, good. So we don't have any errors or anything, it's working okay. We just don't have any math going on here or any multiplication. But we kind of have the structure of this organized and we have a good defining table here. So that's where I'm going to stop this video. If you have any questions while you're working on this, just let me know, and I hope you have a great week.